From Cogra's Jubilee Oval, good evening and welcome to the Rank Arena Big Game and the match today between St George and Manly. And it has attracted quite a good crowd here too to see the battle between two of Rugby League's heavyweight teams. Craig Young takes the St George Dragons onto the field with a few changes from the team we saw play against Canterbury last Monday at Belmore. Casey is in at fullback replacing Johnson. Henjack is in. He replaces Morris. And Quinn is now in the second row. In fact, he replaced Walsh. Tony Trudgett, one of two players in their 100th first grade game today. And Tony has given long service and good service to the St George side. There they are, the Eagles taking the ground. Led out by Alan Thompson. And you don't have to be reminded of the glittering array of internationals in the Manly lineup. The full readout: Edie, Rebo, Bosted, Close, Sigsworth, Thompson, Blake, Mackay, Boyd, Vorton, Brown, Krilich and Gerard. And there's the other player going through game number 100, John Rebo. John Gosher in charge of this match today. Touch judges George Benson and Max Thompson. So Phil Blake has placed the ball. Max Krilich kicks off. Graham Hughes and Bill Anderson join me in the commentary box. And Ivan Henjack. A big day for him. And he was in fact the first St George player to get a touch. That's Quinn taking it out beyond the 32. And Craig Young, who's met there by the Manly front rowers, Dave Brown and Jeff Gerard. Casey using this breeze that is quite strong. Edie is pegged inside his 32-metre line. Bosted. Krilich looking to gain ground from the dummy half position. Gerard playing it now. They're 10 metres from halfway as Blake hooks the ball across ground. And Brian Johnston, one of Sydney's in-form wingers, takes it back and away from Alan Thompson. And that's O'Connor running very strongly. He's got 32 metres to go. Tackled just outside the 22 by the Axe. Kerry Bosted. Trudgett. Jarvis hits it up. Horton's got him. Dowling, O'Grady, Young. They look very much as though they're pumped up, the Saints. This is Henjack. Oh, Quinn, that's costly. Rebo. So it's with Gerard now. Ooh. The big man over the top was Craig Young. Krilich. Young's been involved in just about every tackle. And he's letting a few of these Manly players know that he's out there. That's a good pass by Boyd to Close. Graham, in fact, before the match, spoke with Craig Young.
Craig, everyone's tipping, of course, the forward battle today to really decide the issue.
Yeah, well, whoever comes out on top of the forwards always wins the majority of the big games, and we'll do that today.
What about young Ivan Henjack? His first game today, plenty of pressure on him to look after Phil Blake.
Yeah, well, that pressure makes good players. Like, they'll bring the best out in Ivan, and all of us at St George have got tremendous confidence in Ivan, and that's why he's in first grade.
So this scrum is going down just on the Manly side of the halfway. Trudgett. Trudgett got across the top of Alan Thompson. That's the second tackle Alan has missed in as many minutes. Ready. Oh, that was a big hit by Gerard. He went up and really slammed himself into Rocket. But Reddy's up and playing it. Henjack pops it up there for Young. And Gerard is over the top. Horton underneath.
It's a lot more enthusiastic St George pack this weekend than one we saw against Canterbury, and obviously they're out the end for all the criticism for their recent poor form.
Beautiful kick by Rogers. He's found a 10 up. Steve Rogers, the Saints need him today. Manly with the feed and the loose. Will Blake working the scrum, and immediately he is trapped on the blind side. Graham Hughes in the dressing rooms was talking with Phil Blake prior to kickoff.
Phil, some disappointing memories for you last time you met up with Little Ivan Henjak.
That's right, Graham. It was about 2 years ago now. It was in the Commonwealth Bank Cup semi-final where I was playing with Christian Brothers and he was playing with Campbelltown. That day, or that night, they got well on top of us, and I'm hoping for a different result today.
Philip Blake interviewed by Graham Hughes as Dave Brown takes it up the centre. Thompson, Boyd. Good cutout pass by Boyd. He's thrown 2 superb passes already in this match. Into touch with Rebo. Graham Quinn with a quick change of jumper. Gerard. Boyd takes it to within 5 metres of the line. In fact, there's Bob Fulton with his statisticians watching the game from the Channel 10 scaffolding construction. And Eadie takes it within 2 metres. 5 tackles gone. Turnover coming up, or the kick. There it is. And a lovely kick by Thompson, but I don't think Bosted got there in time. He's telling John Gosher I did. Now, I would love to see it on the replay. I'm almost certain this ball was gone over the dead ball line before Kerry got a hand to it. Let's see it.
I was going to say a lot closer than most people thought.
It wasn't, you know. You're quite right, but he seems to have hit it with the back of his wrist.
Well, we have got the beauty of video, and I'm quite sure that well, just looking at that, I'm judging it a try.
Yeah, well, it was certainly forced with downward pressure. So that's an interesting little one, isn't it? So we're 32 metres out now from the St George line with Graham O'Grady. Ready, Young, Johnston, he's around close. He's over the halfway now. Johnston.
He's really an informed winger at the moment, Brian Johnston.
Henjak, Trudgett, O'Grady, knocked down by Les Boyd. That's now turned out to be an intercept, but he's given it straight back to the Saints. Casey's gone inside 32. O'Connor's gone inside the 22. He's looking for Rogers, and he's now held about 5 metres out from the Manly line. Rogers, O'Grady, Henjak, Trudgett, Jarvis. Tackled by McCabe. Good tackle by McCabe, that one. Ready. He's 8 metres out from the line. Dummy half is John Dowling. Craig Young. Oh, Johnston's put it down. Almost get the impression that Pat Jarvis got in the road there of Brian Johnston in his defence. Fed by Blake and won by Manly out to Eadie. Close.
In the early stages of this game, Manly have elected to play a strong physical forward game. They're trying to move the ball forward before they try to hit their back line.
Vaughton. Krilic.
Again, another little dart out of dummy half. They're trying to play St George up the middle.
Blake. Gerard. Close. He got through the tackle of Henjak, and McCabe knocks on. Could have been promoted into almost anything for Manly had McCabe held that ball.
He had 2 or 3 men in support. I'm going to agree with you on gauging that breeze, right? I think there's probably 6 or 8 points behind that for St George, and well, if they don't put those points on the board, Manly, of course, could easily come storming home with it at their backs in the second half.
St George getting their first penalty. Differential penalty. And Rogers has found that touchline about 5 metres inside the quarter. So here come the Dragons. Casey, taken by Close. Grillage has come over. Well, what's Rebo done?
I think you find that he's got it for lashing out with a boot.
To Rebo. Let's see it again. Close was in the tackle. Oh, there's Rebo. Now he's going to have to probably steer this out a little bit to his left. Steve Guerin. Study and concentration. It's a wide-angled kick for him. Now the wind should bring this around. It has, and Guerin has spotted a nice goal to send the Dragons to a 2-0 lead. Grillage kicks off to Guerin. And Guerin retaliates immediately, and I think he's going to find touch. He has. He's found touch midway between the 22 and the halfway Manly's end of the ground. Reserve grade to the Saints and third grade to Manly. Incorrectly packing into the scrum against St George. So the Eagles will take the free kick 10 metres into St George's area. Grillage. He actually runs it and runs it out as wide as he can get it, Max. Doesn't care about going forward. All he's trying to do is pick up a big, fast forward out wide. Dowling. Rogers. That's Henjak. This is Jarvis. Have a look at this man.
It's a strong run.
He is a strong runner. He never gives up, Pat Jarvis. Brian Johnston. Henjak. Drudgett. Ready. Drudgett. Spinning it back for O'Connor. He's run into Boyd. And lost it. Thompson. Grillage.
Manly very flat and unprepared for the ball. They should be a lot deeper.
Close. Right now they're very bunched. There they are, all in a cluster. And another loose ball coming up for the Saints. Play by Jarvis.
It's on out on the left here.
Is it? Ready. Henjak. Big ball. Yes, Guerin's on it. Had to juggle it. Lost a little bit of his momentum.
The reason that Manly are bunched a lot of the time is because of their game plan. They're moving in near the ruck to try and take the ball straight up the middle of the St George ruck.
Dowling plays it. Graham Quinn takes off from dummy half. Morton's hurt. Henjak. Ready. Henjak's behind him. Henjak. Oh, hello. This is a confrontation that many people have been expecting for a long time. Reddy and Boyd. Well, Reddy went in and Boyd wasn't impressed with Reddy's treatment of Dave Brown. And I do think that we might have missed out on a Liverpool kiss there. Both got 10 minutes in the sin bin.
Both looking a little worse for wear.
And Reddy has a gash under his right eye. There's Boyd up the tunnel.
And then they're going to miss him because he's been in great attacking form right from the start of the game.
So Steve Guerin is going for his 1,000 now. He'd know about it, well and truly. He's 22 metres out, 8 metres in from touch. Nothing's impossible with this kicker. He's good. He's got it in the air. He's got length, but it's just wide. And so it'll have to wait for another minute. St George leading Manly by 2 points to 0. You're watching the Rank Arena big game. This man is Michael O'Connor, tackled by Sigsworth. Here's Quinn. Proving a bit difficult for the Manly boys. Quinn, that's the second good run he's made, and through the forwards.
There's no pressure on him because at this stage, or right from the start of the match, they would have been looking for Craig Young and Rod Reddy to be taking the ball up.
So it's to Trudgett and now to Rogers. He's got it inside for O'Connor, who has lost it again. Second time O'Connor's put it down. His confidence would not be on a high at the moment, but Manly, obligingly for St George, has given it back.
Yeah, the pressure of a very tight game starting to tell. Some of the handling's a little bit shaky.
Differential to Manly, and it's against Henjak for his feed. There's the culprit. Edie finding touch. 32 metres up. Horton running as the second forward. Now Gerard. Brown. Blake. McCabe. Just into St George's area. Blake again. Now Thompson. Cutting out Gerard, the pass is found close. And O'Connor makes a tackle. Lebo. Thompson. Rub kick, hoping to find Casey out of position. But Casey got up there very quickly to cover it. Good quick thinking by Thompson, though. Variation of attack. Hoping for a fullback deeply positioned. There's plenty of vacant grass there. Dowling now. Henjak cuts out Young and picks up Jarvis. Play is 12 metres on the St George side of the halfway. Henjak, O'Grady, Rogers. He's found an opening. Now Henjak has put it down. Oh, Rogers was through like the Steve Rogers of old, wasn't he?
It's a credit to the defence of both sides that most players have been right here in front of us on the halfway line. There haven't been a lot of clean breaks.
Chris Close. Picked up by Rogers in cover with Young. And Young's hurt his ankle into the bargain. McCabe has lost it. And it's a Saints ball. Rogers is on it. It's got to be spun quickly to the left. Dowling, long ball to Henjak. He's found an opening. He's beaten Blake, although Blake was able just to knock him off his balance.
I thought he might have been better to continue the flow of the ball then along the line.
The ball should still be sent the same way.
Dowling. Jarvis. Jarvis has gone right through. Now it's Gearing. He might get his 1,000 by scoring a try. No, he won't. Both heads after him and got him. The Saints are finding openings in this Manly defensive line, and a penalty to Manly. He's ruled a forward pass, a deliberate forward pass.
No, he's ruled him inside the 5 metres while attacking.
Yeah, that's what he's got him for, Graham. So Eadie will take the kick.
We're very disappointed, Roy Masters, at the moment too, because all these penalties are wasting precious time. St George, a big gale at their backs in this first half, and as we were talking before, it's probably worth 6 or 8 points, and the scoreline at the moment only 2. It's just not enough.
Brown. Gerard. Craig Young tried to take him with a shoulder.
Manly persevering to batter their way upfield into this breeze and into the St George forwards.
Paul Vorton, in-form player. 12 minutes from the break. Krilich, infielder for Eadie. Krilich again. Now it's with Blake. There's the chip. Jarvis shouldered him down. He's going to give the penalty. He's given the penalty for a late tackle on Phil Blake by Pat Jarvis. Well, I suppose you could look at that 2 ways. The way the St George fans are reading it, quite obviously, is that Pat Jarvis had set himself, he's a big man, he had set himself to go in and take Blake out of it. And once the ball had pinged off the little halfback's foot, Jarvis just kept going with momentum. But the referee didn't see it that way.
I'm inclined to agree with him.
Graham Eadie to take a kick at goal from right in front. But it is into this into the teeth of the wind. Hits it sweetly, and that's the equaliser. Manly and St George, 2 points all. Les Boyd at the door of the dressing rooms with his right hand in ice. That's the broken hand, isn't it, that he's continuing to play with? I was trying to work out which hand he had broken, but that'd be the one, and that's the reason for the ice. It'll be feeling a bit tender, I suppose. So he's used the sin bin, if you can, use the sin bin to his advantage.
It's a very costly mistake by Paul McCabe, knocking on only 10 minutes from half-time from the kick-off.
Henjak, I thought for a moment he was going to be pinched again for an incorrect feed, but in the meantime, Gosha had got the Manly front row, and the differential goes to the Dragons. Well, Steve Rogers won't want to promote this much further. They're 11 metres out from the line now. He'll hang on to every bit of the 10, I would think. He does that. And here's the tap to be taken by John Dowling, and they're going to take it up with one forward, Pat Jarvis. He's 5 metres out now. Henjak, a dummy to Young and switch back to the blind for Trudgill. Dowling now. Graham Quinn, he's put it down. Dowling's on it. Now Manly's on it. And that was pretty ordinary stuff from St George, really.
Yes, they're certainly far to keep that and really apply that pressure to Manly. Too many simple mistakes and too many mistakes as far as penalties are concerned to take all the pressure off the Sea Eagles.
Had a golden opportunity there to do something, the Saints, with the 3 tackles they used, and they did nothing.
Yeah, they're putting pressure on St George by working the ball down on Manly by putting the ball into their quarter, and then they're forfeiting that pressure by giving up possession.
Well, there's the two chaps having a bit of a chat now, Boyd and Reddy. Certainly no ill feelings there with the Australian second rowers.
Might be discussing whose fault it was.
Probably. Penalty goes to St George against Sigsworth as Reddy and Boyd head back onto the field. So he should be a pleased man, Steve Gearin, if he can get this 1,000 thing out of his way. Here he comes. Sights are set on those goal posts. He's taken plenty of divot, but he's got it. Steve Gearin has booted Saints to a 4-2 lead. And I thought he might have given a jump for joy, Steve Gearin, but he's taken it fairly calmly, as you can see.
Rob.
4-2. The Dragons with their nose in front. And a differential to St George.
To look for a decision from John Gosher then, but I couldn't really find one.
No, it was a penalty that could have gone either way. I couldn't find one.
So Rogers finding touch. 2 metres on the Manly side of halfway. That's Casey. Brian Johnson watching the match from the sidelines today. We were telling you last weekend that he'd never played a lower grade game as he went on the field for his 100th last Monday. Lo and behold, 6 days later he's in reserve grade. O'Grady. Casey's put it down. And Alan Thompson with the advantage rule applying to play it, if he can, 10 metres out from the Manly 22. McCabe. Rogers has made 2 great busts for St George in this match thus far. Fortin just short of halfway. Sigsworth probing out there. Reddy closing the gap. Blake. Boyd. Rogers showing his experience. He knew there was an overlap starting to work itself up, and he went in and took the ball carrier.
He's very good at that bulldog type ball and all tackle.
Bill Blake putting a ball up in the air, and it's the Saints coming up with it. Johnston. Henjak. Ready. They're 10 metres from the halfway. Henjak. Quinn. Craig Young spearing it down into that bottom corner, and in touch in goal. So back to the 22-way line for Manly to restart. Gerard.
Like Bobby Fulton will be quite happy with that scoreline too, now that he knows, and as his team, all his players know, that they'll turn around in the second half with that big goal behind them.
Ball played by Krillage. Blake, Thompson, close. Both sides have been very tight out wide. Any openings that have presented themselves have been up the centre. Gerard, Wharton, Sigsworth, McCabe, all look forward. That's what the crowd's booing about. Played by McCabe, given to Blake, now to Thompson. And Allen is taken. He got a pass away. He might have been penalised for passing from the ground there. That was the turnover point too. And there it is now. Boasted will be instructed to hand it over. So it's to the left now. Oh, O'Grady's come back into the centre of the field where
they had an opportunity out wide then.
Here's Jarvis. Now with Trudgett. Rogers, ready. Got a pass down for Casey. Casey, can he find a runner? He's found Henjack. But he was swamped there by Manly's Chris Close. Young, short ball for O'Grady. He's picked up a runner. Quinn has got it. Graham Quinn is going down towards the line. Stands, offloads, picks up Jarvis. Jarvis throws a monstrous pass out there for Gearin. Oh, the frustration of a tight 40 minutes coming right on through there with Pat Jarvis. In the dying seconds of this, he realised that he had to get it out there somehow, and he threw this big gridiron pass. And into touch. So Phil Blake is taken to ground as the siren ends the first 40 minutes. And the Saints go to the break, leading by 4 points to 2.
So, we tried
to the Rank Arena big game, and this came at the 16th minute of the first 40 minutes with that grub kick through by Alan Thompson, and then Manly appeared to be badly done by with that incident there. Kerry Boustead inside the dead ball line appeared to get a hand to that ball and force it with downward pressure. That's an incident we'll probably read and hear more about. Well, the frustrations of a trialless first half, they reached their climax for St George at the 39th minute with this long gridiron pass by Pat Jarvis, trying to find Steve Gearin, knowing the siren was about to sound. But there it goes into touch, and so we come back at 4 points to 2. No tries in the Manly St George clash. So Steve Rogers gets it into flight, and now it's with Boustead. He's about 26 metres out. Krillage. Graham Eadie showing his side's game plan very early on. Third tackle, and he's found touch. Oh. Well, I would have thought Gearin would have been deeper, knowing that Bobby Fulton would have told Eadie to kick. It's quite likely that when you're inside your own 22, you'll find fullbacks kicking on the early tackles, hoping to catch a winger standing up too flat. So we'll just watch this scrum, and then we'll talk to Bill Anderson, who's been to the dressing rooms, won by Manly. It's with Alan Thompson, and taken to ground there by Trudgett. McCabe taking off from dummy half, but there's that tackle of Rogers that Billy Anderson was telling you about earlier. It's a ball and all tackle. It's required at a crucial point in the game. There's a chance, Oh, Boustead's put it down. And over the dead ball line. Alan Thompson appealing to the referee that it went off Craig Young's boot. But this absolutely, I don't think any chance that happened, because Craig certainly was standing on top of it. Keeping a close eye on the passage of the ball. And that's him with it now. So, Bill Anderson, what's the report from the dressing room?
Well, Coach Bob Fulton was very happy with his scoreline and very happy with his team's defence. not so happy with his team's handling, but as we've already seen an example in this half, they're going to use this win. Going to be a lot of kicking and the early tackles from Manly. Roy Masters wasn't giving a lot away, but he did mention that he thought Manly would kick the ball as they're going to, and St George should cover it. He also mentioned that St George need to vary their play a lot more than they did in the first half.
Did you, Bill, by any chance ask him, was he happy with Ivan Henjak's first half?
Yes, we did speak about Ivan Henjak. Very happy with Ivan Henjak. Happy with the way he's using his speed and happy with the way the other players are working off him.
Okay. Billy Anderson there from the sidelines. And it's Craig Young now on the halfway line. It's with Henjak. And now ready. Rod tried to put on what is now becoming almost famous, the Rod Ready pirouette. Dowling. Jarvis has lost it in the tackle from close, and now Thompson is tackled by Dowling. It's out with Vorton. Behind Boyd and picked up by Eadie. Well, he's run behind Sigsworth, but...
I don't think he impeded anybody.
No, well, John Gosher has that discretionary power, whether or not the defence is obstructed. He was of the opinion that they weren't obstructed, quite obviously. It's with Thompson. Now Gerard. And Sigsworth has been put into an opening. He's inside the 32-metre line. Brought down 26 metres out from the try line. Here's Blake. Now Thompson. It's a good crowd, eh? 15,166. It's a good crowd. And another spill of the ball. Here's the little fellow, Henjak, product of St Gregory's Campbelltown, who will be running that coaching clinic, a live-in coaching clinic for 5 days in the May school holidays. Lost by Dowling, and he's going to put a scrum down. John not happy with himself. A couple of good hookers in this match today. And a penalty to the Saints. Against Blake for his feed. Here it is. Well, the feet were across and everything was wrong. He probably could have got them on any number of charges. So Steve Rogers, who probed and found a couple of openings up the centre with Manly in the first half. Rogers, Young, I should say, O'Grady now ready, turning it back for Henjak, and they've formed up a back line out very deep and wide. It's with Henjak, and he's under the tackle of Sigsworth. I can't describe it any other way. Big Jeff Gerard made the tackle, but I reckon he must have said, where is he? He's a long way down there. Jarvis looking to turn it back to Quinn, but decided against it. Dowling. O'Grady. 30 metres out. Centre field. Saints running into the strong wind in the second half.
It's been noticeable already in this half that Steve Rogers has left the centre of position on a number of occasions, moved himself in near the ruck. I think Steve's decided he's going to do something about winning this game himself.
Trudgett picking up Dowling. The line's 10 metres away. Brian Johnston is tackled 5 metres out.
Here he is now, dummy half, Rogers.
Rogers sweeping it to Rocket Ready, trying to get inside his man, but the tackle was made. And a penalty to St George. Penalty to the Saints. Ready still on the ground. And that was the tackle. I'm just wondering what he gave that penalty for. Was it inside the 5? Thank you.
Yes, he found John Rebo creeping up.
So Steve Guerin has got his most difficult kick of the game. George leading by 4-2. Guerin hits it low, and just offline. It's a good kick by the same token. I think I'm sure he would have done that on purpose to try and keep it on a low trajectory into the breeze. 4-2. 18 metres out, the scrum forming. That man to go into the middle of it, Max Krilich. Henjak to feed it. And a penalty to Manly. Looking into those tunnels, it's hard to understand how a halfback can ever get the ball in anyway.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to roll the ball in along the ground if there's no tunnel.
So Manly in one of their strongest attacking positions. Dave Brown works it up for one. Now they'll put together a set play. Sigsworth. The three big forwards getting ready back here. McCabe, Gerard and Vorton. There they go. Ping, ping, ping. And Vorton comes out with it. And he's just a metre short of the line. Eadie, it's on here, but Eadie, now he's got it away to Boyd, inside to Bowstead, now to Blake, and Craig Young has got him. Sigsworth, McCabe.
St George is still stressed on the left side.
Blake. Well, he seems today to be
very heavily marked.
Yeah, but he does tend to look as though he's lost on occasions here today. Dowling. Ready. Woo. Penalty. Inside the 5 is the ruling. Rod was doing his level best. He had 2 on him, and then all of a sudden Les said, well, I'll get involved here too. But the penalty's gone to the Saints. Jarvis. Saints leading 4 points to 2 against the Sea Eagles. Craig Young. Don't forget our first KB Cup match of the year, Wednesday night at Leichhardt, Manly and Parramatta. Through Henjak to Reddy. The little man follows him, and he's up to the halfway line. St George are wrapping it to the left, using up every available inch of turf over this side of the paddock. Casey. Now they should start to think about the forming up of a very deep back line across to the right. O'Grady decides to drop it onto the right foot. Vorton's got it covered.
If we talk about forming up a back line, that's why you'll find that Rogers is playing a lot closer to the rucks, very simply because the game's being dominated by the forwards.
It's Rogers again making the tackle. A tackle on Eadie. Rebo was off, but he forgot one very important thing, the ball. Sigsworth. Now Gerard. Boyd. Close. Ooh, Reddy came in and he takes the big Queenslander to ground. From one banana bender to another. Blake's kick. Deep. It might go over the dead ball line. It's going touching goal. So it'll come out to the 22 for the place kick restart by the Saints. Neither side prepared to give anything away. Young. Jarvis. Whoops. Henjak. O'Grady. Trudgett. O'Grady. Johnston. Young. Henjak. Casey into the back line. Reddy goes infield. Gerard takes him to ground. Jeff is on the bottom of it. He's given a penalty to Manly against Reddy. For placing his forearm across the face of Jeff Gerard. Here's the incident that Rod Reddy went for. But to give penalties away when you're in possession is pretty dumb stuff, really, Bill Anderson.
Yeah, particularly when you're within kicking distance of your own posts.
You can't do any better than that. Good one. Will it be 2 from 2? Sprayed it out. And so St George retain this lead of just 2 points, and the match still remains trailless. Rankarina big game. Paul Wood. And who do you think was first man up there to make the tackle? Steve Rogers again. Now it's McCabe. Boyd. Grillage popping it up and hoping not to find John Dowling, who plays it now. Brian Johnston across the ground.
I'm just getting a feeling that something's about to happen. The defence on both sides just starting to open up a little.
Jarvis.
If you said on Sportsweek this morning that the game was going to be dominated by the forwards, it has. But just look for the little men, the blokes like Blake and the little Ivan Henjak, who could turn this game.
Henjak is playing it now. O'Grady, Trudgett. It's a high kick. I think Rogers was hoping more for the grub kick or the chip. He was going up with his centre partner O'Connor. Chris Close is tackled on the 32-metre line.
Yes, against both sides should be using a variety of kicks, chip kicks, grubber kicks, etc. They've both got very strong defensive patterns, and if they're going to break the defensive line, a kick's the best way to do it.
Sigsworth plays it now. No marker. 20 metres out. Gerard runs the blind, picks up Grillage. They're 5 metres out now, Manly. From Boyd to Sigsworth, the bomb. And pressure here for Casey. McCabe goes up, a Manly player's come through and taken it, and it's a try. It's a try. Scored by Kerry Boustead. The try has been awarded to Kerry Boustead. This was a good bomb, this one, from Sigsworth. The upright didn't help the St George fullback. McCabe went up, but the ball went back, even if McCabe did get it. And Boustead is onside, and it's a fair try. Graham Eddie taking his third shot at goal. This one right in front. The easiest of kicks for Graham Eddie. And he's potted it. So Manly leads in the Rankarina big game by 8-4. Boyd.
Important period for the Saints. Another score here by Manly will probably see them right out of the game.
Jeff Gerard. Alan Thompson. Brown. Rogers has got it. Oh, heavy stuff.
Manly need to concentrate on one man, it's Steve Rogers. I think he's the fellow that could turn the game. He's doing as much as he can.
Rogers is there saying, come on, get up. But John Dowling can't respond. The St George bench there. Rod Reddy's face now a sea of blood. 15 times these two sides have fumbled the ball. Fumbled or bumbled.
That's 15 each.
15 each. Reddy. He's had a menacing game today, Reddy. He's upset the people out there.
In fairness, both he and Craig Young are putting in a tremendous effort.
Here's Young now. Taken by Chris Close. Chased and caught by Ivan Henjak. Morton swings it to Bostad.
You throw a blanket over the Manly side at the moment. They're all in a bunch around the play the ball.
Boyd.
Now they're starting to fan out wider.
It's out with Thompson. Now Eadie. Now Thompson. Sidsworth cut out. Blake. Oh, Blake he's knocked it on. Well, this is very much not Phil Blake today, isn't it?
He's finding it hard to get involved in the game. The forwards really are dominating proceedings, and both he and probably to a lesser extent the rest of the backs involved in this match finding it very, very hard indeed.
Tragic.
Yeah, I agree with Graham. I think that Phil Blake's attitude to be exactly where do I fit in here at this stage. That's more like it. This is the sort of thing we need to see from St George.
O'Connor has knocked it on after giving himself a good bounce too. It looked as though it was going to be a very favourable bounce, but
well, this is what they've got to do. They've got to do this to break up the Manly defence if they're going to win the game.
Looking at it on the head-on, it wasn't a good bounce at all. It sprayed out, sending that scrum just in field a touch. Fed one by the Eagles. Sigsworth. Of the decided scrums, I don't think I could find anybody at this match that's agreed with any one of them being won by either side. They've almost been a waste of time. McCabe. 6-4 the scrums to Manly. Gerard. 12-11 the penalties now. Blake, a drop shot at goal.
Very ambitious one. It was from about 45 metres out.
So it'll come back to the 22-way line for the place kick restart by the Saints. Craig Young, taken by McKay. Big man on big man. Quinn. Starting to wonder whether Steve Rogers is getting a bit fed up with the apparent lack of opportunities he's being given. He's gone to dummy half now. Ready. Brian Johnston. Rebounds after him.
He gets away.
He's got an infield pass that O'Connor can't take, and Manly's Philip Blake has come up with it.
We're talking about opening the ball game up, and that's exactly what St George have got to continue to do.
10 minutes to go. Sigsworth is tackled in the centre of the ground, 30 metres out. Well, if you remember correctly, Johnston did that against Canterbury last Monday. That was what he was doing last Monday, and he very nearly did something similar here today. But Rebo hung on, and then the pass went astray. Brian Johnston. Dave Brown works it away to Les Boyd.
Manly still hitting the ball up the middle. They haven't deviated from this game plan, and they're going to stick through it right through the second half and couple that with a kicking game.
Grillage. Well, Borton's put it down now. Rogers pounces upon it.
They've got a bit of room out wide here, St George.
Ready.
Find some links.
Reddy's turned back into the defence, though, as Tony Trudgett goes to ground. O'Grady. Rogers. Mike O'Connor. It's with Henjak. Now Casey.
Yes, we mentioned earlier that Roy Masters had to make changes very soon. He's got 2 fresh players ready to come onto the field.
Rogers to Reddy. There they are.
This is a good move by the coach.
Graham Quinn replaced, and so too Pat Jarvis. Graham Wynn and Robert Stone have been given the last 9 minutes. He is coming off. Steve Morris going on. We're led to believe that he's going out there into the lock position. Manly's penalty. Bobby Fulton still to make any changes, and it doesn't look like he's going to. Roy Masters has used 3 replacements. Of course, they're the ones that are playing catch-ups at the moment. Down 8-4. McCabe. Thompson. Sigsworth. Blake. Gerard. Chance on for Boyd. Now to Rebo. Rebo's in.
That's the ball game.
John Rebo planting it firmly down for Manly to ram it home. The Rank Arena replay. Blake, long ball, beautifully directed, opened it out there to Gerard, and then he drew and passed, and so did Boyd, and Brian Johnston had no hope in the world there. So Manly lead by a more convincing margin.
One of the few times in the match where the team running with the breeze has really been able to apply the pressure to the fullest. And just good quick hands from Manly Warringah. St George left short, an easy try out wide.
Yeah, that was good fundamental, no panic football by Manly. They had the overlap all the way. Nice long ball, good quick hands, Rebo scoring in the corner.
Manly 12, St George 4, with Graham Eadie to attempt conversion of Rebo's try. And so the Dragons fans have said, well, that's enough. Eadie's from a very wide angle, 3 metres in from touch. I like this a little. It's just got away, but it was a kick that had plenty of height and plenty of length.
That was a kick that the wind would have kept going.
So Steve Rogers, just the shallow kick, hoping to get it back, and it didn't go 10, and it went out on the full. So it's going to be, I would think, Graham Eadie taking a kick at goal.
They're the sort of mistakes that you make when you're behind and you're chasing points. They're not the sort of mistakes you make when you're well in front and you're running hot. And I'd be surprised if Eadie didn't have a kick.
Yes, he's indicated to Gosha that he'll give it a shot.
Could have given John Rebo a kick here also, Ray. John Rebo's a very long kicker of the ball, and he certainly would have got the ball dead.
So a 50-metre kick for Graham Eadie. 1 from 3.
Been a tight match, hasn't it?
As tight as the taxation department.
There's been plenty of sting in the defence of both sides. It's been a credit to their defence, only 2 tries, and There were very few breaks made, and the breaks that were made were very quickly covered up by both teams.
Nobody's giving anything away, that's what we're probably saying. Well, here's Graham Eadie. He's got a very strong breeze at his back. It's got length, it's got height, and it's got direction. So Graham Eadie has potted it from the halfway to send Manly to 14-4 in the Rank Arena big game. Well, we must be right on full time.
St George paying the penalty now in the second half for not using that Gale in the first 40 minutes.
Graham Wynn almost coming down with it. That was the restart that they were hoping for previously on, but it backfired and cost them 2 points. A penalty to St George. Manly now have got it sewn up, leading by 10 points. And referee Gosha could give St George a flood of penalties and it wouldn't make any difference to the ultimate outcome of this one. Robert Stone takes it to within 3 metres of the line.
I don't think that's a fair indication, the 10-point winning margin at this stage for Manly. Though St George have put in a big effort in this match, and well, they've just made too many mistakes for a good sign.
Rogers with the bomb. And I think O'Connor's got it down. Yes, he has. Michael O'Connor has gone up above the pack and come down with it. So O'Connor picks up a rugby league try. A beautiful bomb by Rogers. I suppose the question should be asked why they didn't try this earlier. That's with hindsight, of course. Fair try.
Yes, and the man on the receiving end of this ball, Michael O'Connor, is one of the few players that can really hold his heads up here in the St George backs today. He's made a couple of good breaks. He did well to get up high here for the ball. Touchdown from St George, and they're back into the game with probably 30 seconds remaining.
Yeah, well, have they got 30 seconds? That's the question. Guerin converts. Try scored by Michael O'Connor. And it's 14 points to 10 now.
Well, Manly will be in no hurry to get this ball back into play, and if they do have to take this kick off, I'm sure they'll kick it as far as they possibly can.
Well, when the clock stops, my watch said that it has been 8 minutes the last 5. But there's the siren now, bringing a halt to it. Manly defeating St George by 14 points to 10. Scrums finished at 6-4 to Manly, whilst the penalty count went Manly 14, St George 13. Graham will be in the dressing rooms with the Man of the Match award on behalf of Rank Arena and Electronic Rentals in just a moment.
Yet all my friends out there have 1-1. With Cronulla and Parramatta, Cronulla seem to always have the wood on it. I'm sure Terry Fernley will be very happy, and we've got to play him Wednesday night in the KB Cup, and I think we'll do them then.
Congratulations again, Jeff.
Thanks very much, Graham.
In a game characterised by some strong defence but marred by some rather sloppy handling, Manly have emerged worthy winners. Bob Fulton, would you agree with that?
You've put it pretty well there, Bill. I think it's a good summation of what happened out there. I don't think too many sides in Sydney would have beaten either of those two outfits out there today. We both tackled very, very strongly, and as you said, we dropped a bit of ball, but I think that was attributable to the defence of both sides.
Where do you think you won the game?
Where most games are won, right up front, and I think Krilich, Brown and Gerard had outstanding games and laid the foundation for the rest of our team to put on a pretty good performance.